woman behind Corporate Diva needs no introduction. Founder and CEO, Dipika Trehan, she genuinely impacts real life transformation of women professionals, making a woman fall in love again, this time with herself. This makes me very curious, Deepika. Where do you get all this passion from?
Thanks, Payal. First, thank you for inviting me for this conversation. Talking about passion, I think, the tagline that you just mentioned, making a woman fall in love again, this time with herself, that's pretty much the space that I get my inspiration from. Um, Beyond that, I think, given the life journey that one has led so far, and the professional life cycle, there have been gaps, there have been lack of support. And I think that very feeling of being alone, uh, it has been the driving force where one doesn't want anybody else to be alone in their journey. So that's from where I derive my inspiration, my motivation. Every single day that I get up, it's only towards one mission: to not make anyone feel alone in their journey.
So you're an icon in yourself, Deepika. Tell me, who do you look up for any inspiration or mentorship?
I've been blessed with a lot of mentors. In fact, there have been times where I've needed help, I've needed guidance, but I haven't really actively looked out for it. But I guess an open mind always connects the dots. And that's what has happened for me. So, right from seeking mentorship and being mentored by the Sherry Blair Foundation to my coaches and mentors that I have, kind of got guidance from, it's been probably because of a very strong need to keep going, keep moving forward, and then to identify the windows that come your way and to ensure to acknowledge all those windows that come your way, because each of them add value. So that's where my mentorship, my guy, that bucket of
Inspiration.
mentoring comes from. And as far as inspiration is concerned, I think I would consider the journey of life as an inspiration, because you can plan, you can strategize just so much. But when life throws at you different things that are totally unplanned for, totally non-strategized for, that's when you get thinking and that's where I derive my inspiration to do things differently.
A piece of advice you would want to give to the young women who are undertaking entrepreneurship?
One is entrepreneurship is a very, very gratifying journey, but it is a journey where you're going to be questioned most. What is important is, how much do you believe in yourself? Would you buy or consume the product or service that you're offering? And if you would, and if you do believe in yourself, then just go for it. There's nothing more exciting than just taking the plunge, learning to swim, rather than, just wondering if I can swim or not.
So true, yeah. Life, especially for women, is all about the choices she makes, and you know it very well. So, what was the hardest decision you ever had to make in your life?
As women, we tend to prioritize everybody above us. Our social ecosystem, our professional ecosystem, even the ecosystems beyond, the second degree, third degree ecosystems, everybody comes into priority. And we seldom, realize the importance of our own self as the anchor to all of that ecosystem. So for me, the toughest part, which marked to be the turning point, was, I know it's a cliche, but to fall in love with myself. Because there came a time where one was done prioritizing everybody else, but it wasn't doing any good to anyone. And the moment one took cognizance of the fact that I'm an equal, if not more important part of the ecosystem, and I need to invest in myself, I need to nourish myself, I need to nurture myself. And when the anchor invests in her own grip and development, the ecosystem survives. That was my toughest decision that I took. But trust you me, once I took that decision, there wasn't any looking back.
So, if given a choice, if you could start all over again, what would you do differently? I know it's a very hypothetical question, but I would really want to ask you this.
Very valid question, Payal, because often it is the journey that makes us come to a standpoint where we then start a different journey. And that's the journey of purpose, that's the journey of alignment. But I think if I had to give one advice to my own younger self, is going to be believe more in yourself and invest more in your own nourishment and development as a holistic individual, than wait for the journey of life to happen to realize that you too are an equal contribution to humankind. So yes, that little piece of advice is going to be believe more in yourself, continuous investment in self nourishment and development, and then go for it.
I agree with you. My last question to you, and this fact is really, really close to me, and I can't stop myself from asking you, is like, what are your thoughts about the less representation of Asian women in top management? And how do you think we can improve this? And you have the power to improve this. So that's why I want your views.
It's a beautiful question. And I would kind of answer it slightly differently, just beyond Asian women. I think women representation in senior management in itself is hugely underrepresented. And one important factor is that we ourselves somewhere underplay our credibility that we bring to the table. So if I had to kind of, make a dent, I would say that women need to start knowing and owning their ask, having it clear, bringing it unapologetically to the table, and voicing it out. We often wait for opportunities to come our way. We often wait for our credibilities to be acknowledged and kind of addressed to. I think it's high time, like they say, that if there isn't a chair in the room for you, bring your own folding chair, but make sure that you bring yourself to the room and you seat yourself in the front row. So that is what it is for women representation. Having said that, I think a little more sensitization towards women's contribution, and not only contribution in terms of representation or presence, but also in terms of economic benefits of the innate qualities that women bring to the table. Sensitization, awareness, and then implementation is something that is needed to make the numbers move in a more equal direction.
I agree with you. And I really appreciate you taking out all your time from your busy schedule, Deepika, and joining me today. Thank you.
Completely my pleasure, Payal. I think thank you for asking such relevant questions. These are questions that are the need of the hour. Of course, one can talk a lot in depth of it, but I think at least that one-liner, if that's the starting point, if that's the touching base, I'm glad that you're doing it. So my best wishes to you and your initiative.
And I really appreciate all the hard work you're putting in Corporate Diva and making it a big success. I wish you all the luck, Deepika.
Thank you so much, Payal.
Thank you.